Did you know that one of the ancient world's seven wonders is actually a tomb? The Mausoleum at Halicarnassus was one of the seven wonders of the ancient world, but it's often overlooked when people talk about these wonders. This monument built for King Mausolus might not be as well known as the Great Pyramid or the Colossus of Rhodes, but it was just as impressive in its own way. In fact, it might have been even more impressive. The mausoleum was an enormous marble tomb with intricate carvings and a huge statue of the king riding a chariot. It was so big that it took 4 years to build, and so detailed that it could only be completed by a team of over 400 sculptors. The whole structure was decorated with scenes from mythology and history, making it a true masterpiece. But sadly, the mausoleum no longer exists. Earthquakes and erosion have taken their toll on the monument, and it's now just a pile of rubble. But luckily, we have plenty of pictures and descriptions from the ancient world that allow us to get a glimpse of what this incredible wonder was like. So, if you want to learn more about the mausoleum at Halicarnassus, stay tuned. We'll take you on a journey back in time to explore one of the most impressive tombs ever built. The mausoleum at Halicarnassus was built in the 4th century BC on the Greek island of Rhodes. It was built by Artemisia II, the widow of King Mausolus of the Kingdom of Caria, who ruled over a small region on the southwest coast of Anatolia. Artemisia wanted to honor her husband's memory by building him a magnificent tomb, and she spared no expense in creating a monument that would be remembered for centuries to come. Mausolus had been a great ruler and had overseen a period of peace and prosperity in the kingdom. He had also been a patron of the arts and sciences and had commissioned many building projects, including the construction of a new city, which he named Halicarnassus. In honor of her husband's accomplishments, Artemisia decided to name the tomb after him. And thus, the mausoleum at Halicarnassus was born. Building a tomb on such a grand scale was not without its challenges. The architects and engineers had to contend with a number of practical problems, such as how to transport the massive blocks of marble and how to keep the structure stable. They also had to satisfy the artistic demands of Artemisia, who wanted a tomb that was both beautiful and impressive. Despite these challenges, they created a masterpiece. The mausoleum stood 142 feet tall and was adorned with intricate carvings and statues. It was surrounded by a large compound that included a garden, a temple, and other structures. The entire complex was designed to be a fitting final resting place for a great king. Unfortunately, the mausoleum didn't survive the test of time. In the Middle Ages, it was largely destroyed by earthquakes and erosion. Today, only a few fragments of the original structure remain, along with a few sculptures that were salvaged in the 19th century. However, thanks to the efforts of archaeologists and historians, we have a pretty good idea of what the mausoleum looked like in its prime. Let's take a closer look at the design and construction of this amazing wonder. One of the most impressive things about the mausoleum was its sheer size. At 142 feet tall, it was taller than the Great Pyramid of Giza and the statue of Zeus at Olympia, two of the other ancient world's 7 wonders. The tomb was built in the form of a pyramid with 4 sides, each adorned with a different sculpture. The north side depicted scenes from Mausolus's life, while the south side showed his funeral. The east side featured a low relief of the gods, while the west side had a giant statue of Mausolus himself riding in a chariot. The base of the tomb was decorated with even more intricate carvings, including figures of satyrs, nymphs, and other mythical creatures. The entire structure was made of white marble and decorated with elaborate patterns and designs. It was truly a sight to behold. But the size and scale of the mausoleum was not the only thing that made it so impressive. The quality of the workmanship was also exceptional. The marble was so intricately carved that it looked like a single piece of cloth draped over the tomb. The details were so precise that you could see the individual hairs on the figures. And the scale of the statues was so grand that they seemed larger than life. Of course, building such a complex and massive structure required a huge team of workers. According to some sources, there were over 400 sculptors alone working on the project. These artists were some of the best in the ancient world, and they put their skills to good use in creating the mausoleum. The mausoleum was not just a tomb. It was a work of art. It was a celebration of the life and accomplishments of Mausolus, and it was a testament to the skill and artistry of the people who built it. Unfortunately, it's gone now, lost to the ravages of time. But thanks to the efforts of archaeologists and historians, we can still marvel at one of the most impressive tombs ever built. So what do you think? Would you have liked to see the mausoleum at Halicarnassus in its prime? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to learn more about the ancient world. Now let's move on to the next topic. The mausoleum at Halicarnassus was not just an impressive architectural achievement, it was also a symbol of the wealth and power of the kingdom of Caria. Mausolus himself was a member of the royal dynasty of the kingdom of Caria, which had ruled over the region of Caria since the 7th century BC. During Mausolus's reign, the kingdom was at the height of its power and wealth, and he used this wealth to build grand projects such as the city of Halicarnassus and his own tomb. The construction of the mausoleum is said to have cost over 100 talents of gold, which was a huge amount of money at the time. This gold was used to pay for the materials and labor needed to build the tomb, as well as to decorate it with marble and other precious materials. The mausoleum was built in the style of a temple, and it was dedicated to the worship of Mausolus as a god. This shows how important the ruler was to the people of Caria, and how they viewed him as a divine figure. The construction of the tomb was completed in just 4 years, which was a remarkable feat of engineering and construction. This shows the advanced technology and skilled workforce that the kingdom of Caria had at the time. Sadly, the mausoleum did not survive the test of time, but it left a lasting legacy. The grandeur of the tomb inspired other rulers to build their own impressive monuments, and it became one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Today, the ruins of the mausoleum are a reminder of the once great kingdom of Caria and the impressive achievements of the people who lived there. Visitors to the site can still marvel at the scale and magnificence of the tomb, and imagine what it must have looked like in its prime. The mausoleum at Halicarnassus is an important part of history and a reminder of the rich cultural heritage of the ancient world. The mausoleum at Halicarnassus was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, a collection of impressive structures and monuments that were admired by the ancient Greeks and Romans. To be considered a wonder, a structure had to be impressive in terms of its size, beauty, and complexity. And the mausoleum met all of these criteria. It was a huge tomb, standing over 140 feet tall and adorned with intricate carvings and statues. But the other 6 wonders were equally impressive in their own way. The Great Pyramid of Giza, the largest and oldest of the pyramids in Egypt, was considered a marvel of engineering and a symbol of the pharaoh's power. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, one of the most mysterious wonders, were said to have been built by King Nebuchadnezzar II for his wife, and to have featured lush vegetation and cascading waterfalls. The statue of Zeus at Olympia, a massive ivory and gold statue of the king of the gods, was considered a masterpiece of sculpture. The Temple of Artemis at Ephesus, one of the largest and most ornate temples in the ancient world, was dedicated to the goddess of the moon and the hunt. The Colossus of Rhodes, a giant bronze statue of the Greek sun god Helios, was so tall that ships could sail between its legs. And the Lighthouse of Alexandria, a towering structure that guided ships into the harbor with its massive flame, was considered one of the tallest buildings in the ancient world. Each of these wonders was unique and impressive in its own way, but together they represented the best of ancient architecture, engineering, and artistry. They were not just impressive structures. They were symbols of human ingenuity and creativity and a testament to the achievements of the ancient world. If you enjoyed learning about the mausoleum at Halicarnassus, we'd love to hear from you. What other ancient wonders would you like to learn more about? And what aspects of the mausoleum did you find the most interesting? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to join us on our journey through history. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.